What is happening, my fellow geeks and geekettes? Welcome to Cosplay Chris Live. Today is my birthday. I'm getting very, very old, geeks and geekettes. I'm at 1:27 this afternoon. I'm going to be 34 years old. I just figured it'd be fun to come on here, do a stream, because I've got a bit of time to kill today. I'm not doing anything for my birthday until late this afternoon with my mum and dad and stuff like that. Welcome to everyone that's joining in on the chat. Guys, thank you so much for being here today. Yeah, I just figured it'd be a bit of fun. And holy shit, like, since my Henry Cavill is no longer Superman video, shit has just gone awry with the DCEU. It's been crazy. So I want to talk about it. I want to see what you guys have to say about it, because it's just crazy times, man. It's more of a spectacle behind the scenes and more entertaining behind the scenes than what we've seen on screen. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Guys, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for the birthday messages. Chaotic Cooper, Justin, Pedro De Schweitzer. I hope I pronounced that correct. Miles, a super chat from Amy Kelly, $5. Thank you so much, Amy. Hey, Chris, happy birthday. Hope you have a great day. And thanks for your videos. I've learned so much about weathering and toy customization from you. Amy, thank you so much. I appreciate the hell out of that. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, guys, if you saw my video a couple of days ago about the future of the custom collectibles channel, I think, and again, I'm all for transparency. You guys are the reason why I still do this. I think after the amp suit diorama, and it's sitting down here, I was kind of just like, oh man, it's like, I feel like, I don't know if the custom collectible series is peaked, but it's one of those things where you have to evolve and kind of mix things up and keep going, and not reinvent, but essentially just try something new. And that's what I said in my video. When it comes to like the McFarlane toy, so this is the hazmat suit Batman, and I've also got Ninja Spawn. So these two are in the queue. These ones are going to be like quick express episodes. And like I said in my video, it just makes sense to not do a half-an-hour video on these, like almost like several minutes. You get the gist of it, like with what paints to use and whatnot. If we are doing like a diorama, then yeah, it's probably going to be a bit longer, because dioramas just get fiddly, man. So fiddly. It's ridiculous. The Titus, happy birthday, guys. Thank you. April, Fernando, John, Francisco, Frank Riker, you sexy bearded beast. Dennis, Brian's Casual Cosplay. Thank you, ma'am. Tyler, Levi M. You know what's happening. Happy birthday. Levi M. Yo, Wolverine. Yeah, guys. So I thought I'd throw this in the background just to show you guys how it looks now. It doesn't look very flattering just because of the light, and it's very bright. It's the same story when I first got the Phantom bodysuit. The purple was just like, oh, Jesus, it's like Grimace. But once you weather it, and this thing is going to be dirty, like disgusting. There's going to be gash marks with like blood and like remnants of guts hanging out before he started to heal and stuff like that, or remnants of guts. Then he's healed and like the guts have stayed like caked onto the suit. So he's going to look very gnarly. This is all just like temporarily pinned in place, of course. These are carpet layers, knee pads, and I've seen them at Bunnings for the longest time. I thought one day I'm going to use them. I was going to use them on kind of the hybrid bat suit at one point, but then I thought, no, Wolverine. Like Wolverine does have those like shallow blue shoulder pads, but these just look so cool and tactical. And these clips here, the way the placement is kind of reminiscent of Joe Manganiello's, pardon me, I'm starting to get gassy already, Joe Manganiello's Deathstroke. He's got those clips there. So the shoulder pads will Velcro on. They'll clip on here, and then the exact same clip mount at the back as well going in. Apart from that, the claws I got off eBay. They're due to be delivered today, actually. Claws are hard to find now, man. I don't know what's going on. Dark Matter Props used to make the best Wolverine claws, whether it be the Bryan Singer X-Men ones where they rest on top here, or the Logan and the Wolverine ones where they come just straight out from the flat part of the knuckle here. But I had to find some on eBay. They look the part. They're going to be mounted into some leather gloves as well. So like you don't need to see them all on show here. They're going to be coming out from the leather glove. So yeah, a lot of work going into it. I've repurposed the Marvel Midnight Suns cowl. So the base cow's from Reeve FX. And I'm filming the whole thing. It's going to be one big video with the reveal footage and kind of a little storyline, something similar to the Bat short that Daniello, Sarah, and I did. Daniello and Sarah are going to be doing the reveal footage for Wolverine as well. And probably top it all off with a big, fat, stogie cigar. I don't smoke, so I'm probably going to be coughing my lungs up. Guys, thank you so much for the birthday wishes. I really do appreciate it. Hey, we have a super chat from Kenneth Campos, $5. Thank you, man. Happy birthday, Chris. So glad to have found your channel. Big Michael Myers fan and love your work. Thought you're in your mid-20s, skin secret. Thank you, man. Dude, when I was at late teens, early 20s, I had the worst acne in the world. And it was bad, dude. It was, especially when my beard was coming in, especially here in the neck, when all like my whiskers were coming in here, it was just a farm of pimples. And then I get them up here along down now my jawline here. It was bad, man. So I think like you just got to wait for like your hormones to settle. Everyone's different. Like most of my mates had the clearest skin when we were teenagers, and it infuriated me. And yeah, I was always constantly popping pimples. I just use, I don't know where you are in the world. We have a brand called QV, and it's pretty cheap, and they have the QV face range. I have a cleanser in the, for more skin tip routines, follow me on Insta. I have a gentle cleanser in the shower, just face wash, and then moisturizer I use is non-condensemic, and it doesn't have as much oil in it, so it still like hydrates your skin. And then I sound like Patrick Bateman telling you this. Before bed, I have a night cream. Like, no joke, I have a night cream, and then I have eye cream as well, because I noticed I'm starting to get the smile lines here, which is nothing wrong with that. It just means you're happy-go-lucky. You've smiled a lot. But I've noticed it's starting to get a lot severe here, and I just lather on this stuff. I actually got it in Canada because I forgot my night cream when I went to Canada, and I went to the local pharmacy and found this L'Oreal stuff, and it works a treat. Like it works like a week later. It's great. But yeah, I'm very finicky about my skin, man, especially just moisturizing. Just, it's shit when you're a teenager though, and you have really bad acne. The last thing you want to do is moisturize, because you think moisturize is going to lead to more pimples, but hydration is key, not just water, but moisturizer on your face, man. I probably should be getting a bit less sun. But, you know, when you got a dog and you want to go outside, you're near the beach and stuff like that, you know, you want to go out in the sun a bit. But I think that's the key, like not too much sun, and diet as well, man. Drink heaps of water, fruits, veggies. But that's my fucking skincare routine. But thank you for that, man. Guys, for everyone tuning in, thank you so much. Fangirl, Peaches, Dylan, Stacy, thank you so much. Hit the like button on your way in, guys. Thank you. Toronto Freddy, yes, speaking of Canada, hello. Happy born day. Thank you, man. I hope all's well over in Toronto. I hope you're not, as Sunker from Cool Runnings would say, not freezing your Royal Rastafana nini's off. It must be brutally cold there at the moment, dude. But thank you. Jonathan Garcia, 1999. Dude, thank you. Holy shit. Hey, buddy, get yourself a beer on me. Happy birthday. Thank you so much, man. Late this afternoon, I'm meeting my parents at the local golf club. Sounds so old. Yeah, there's a golf club that's halfway between mum and dad's house and my apartment, and it's called Sharkies, and it's really, really good. Like, nice view of the golf greens and all that. I used to play golf there a lot when I was in year 7 and 8. I used to play golf every Sunday with some friends, believe it or not. Like, yeah, you wouldn't pick that, but I did, and I loved it. Like, we'd smash all 18 holes and then go get Mars bars and Coca-Cola and all that, and now you just get on the beers. So I'm going to be having a few cheeky vinos, man, but I will have a cheers to you, Jonathan. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. But yeah, not much on this morning. That's why I thought I'd jump on here and just kind of see what's happening with you guys. You know, we're wrapping up the end of the year and Christmas. If you're not celebrating Christmas, it's, you know, hopefully it's a good, happy holidays and stuff like that. After this, I've got to head to my local Westfield to do some last minute Christmas shopping. Typical bloke, leaving everything to the last bloody minute, but that's just how I'm wired. And then getting food supplies to go around to mum and dad's on Christmas Day. So I'm cooking like a big pasta bake, and I figured just get everything now. The mince is going to like more than last till then. Like, mince lasts a very long time, pasta and stuff like that, just so I can have it all there. I don't have to go to the shops for the next couple of days and worry about it, because especially where I live in this area, holy shit, the last minute Christmas rush is brutal. It's like Jingle All the Way when they're after the Turbo Man. It's ridiculous. Dark Moon Films, are you going to use the same technique for the gashes on the Wolverine costume as you did for the gash on the Michael Myers kill coveralls? I am, man. Absolutely. So, yeah, I don't know if I'll do something under it. I think I can get away with doing a gash on the outside and still having the layer under it act as a base, and then go in with the latex, stipple it on, make it look chunky, maybe just have some bits drizzling out. So yeah, look, Logan's been cut. There's remnants of guts. He's obviously healed, but there's still remnants of guts hanging out there. And then I'll go in with, I've got it over there, the anodized red, metallic red car spray paint. It makes such good fake blood and just like fresh and dark. Cheeky birthday mochaccino in hand. Matt, happy birthday, Chris. Thank you, man. The fruition. Chris, you've got the personality for YouTube, but it's your creativity also, man. Really appreciate you coming up with new ideas and new content for the channel. Happy birthday, brother. Thank you so much, man. Yeah. If you, like I said at the beginning of the stream, if you guys watched my video from a couple of days ago about the custom collectible series, I obviously just don't want to stop it. Like, and I think another thing I've noticed, like after I put my Instagram post up and everyone was so sweet with the feedback for that, a lot of people days after were like, "Oh, dude, I can't believe, you're, what's you doing? I can't believe, you're ending the custom collectible series and stuff like that." And I'm like, dude, have you gone and watched the new videos? So a lot of people are saying my videos aren't showing up. Not sure what's happening with the fucking algorithm. The fucking algorithm, man, is going to be the death of some YouTubers. But yeah, it seems like my videos get a bit lost, which it happens and stuff like that. But yeah, I just don't want to stop it altogether. Like last night I was laying in bed, I'm like, holy shit, the custom collectible series has been going for 7 years. Like to stop it completely, I think it would be a disservice to you guys who have supported me. And it just means coming up with new ideas. And sometimes it can be hard to come up with new ideas, but other times, other ideas just come to you and you keep them in the back of your head. You want to go? Okay. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. Yeah, you need to evolve, move forward. You can't just stay in the same place. And I obviously don't always want to be like, hey, it's just going to be shoe polish, rub and buff, and that's it. It's just rinse and repeat. But if I can still do that and sprinkle some new stuff in, 100%. Like take, for instance, Ninja Spawn. That's focusing. Ninja Spawn. So it's more or less just highlighting and repainting certain things with buckles and stuff like that. But he comes with 2 samurai swords. So what I want to do is get some red tinted resin on some silicone and kind of paint some blood spray. So when he has the swords, I want the swords kind of like that and have these beautiful, as if it's a snapshot, a still frame of blood spray kind of going like that. Something very reminiscent of like Kill Bill, and have him like up in the air. Again, it's simple, but also it's doing something a bit different. So that, yeah. But thank you, man. I really do appreciate that. Dennis, now the feeling on that. I did have the same problem in my teens. I had to eat some heavy pills for it. Dude, I got on medication too for my acne, and it made my acne worse. The doctors said initially it would make your acne a lot worse, but apparently that was because it's pushing out the pimples that are laying dormant. But it got worse. It burnt my skin. I tried Clearasil. I tried Proactive. Remember that shit Proactive that Adam Levine used to flog all the time? That bleached and burnt my face. I remember waking up and my pillows were bleached. And it did warn you that it had like a bleaching effect. But that can't be good. You should not be putting that type of stuff on your skin. I was in complete denial. I thought it was working for me. And then it's just, no, it wasn't at all. I'm like, this is fine. This is fine. This isn't fine. It's like in the Santa Claus when Tim Allen shaves his beard and it grows back and he's like, oh yeah, I'm in trouble. It was like that, man. And it's such a waste of money. Whereas the QV stuff that I use, I think the face wash, the night cream, and the day moisturizer for a month is like $50. And I'm happy to pay that, dude. Like I'm very finicky about my skin because of how bad it was when I was a teenager. And you just feel good when you've got clear skin. Like I actually, now you can't see it, I've got a whopper of a blind pimple right here, and I was lying in bed last night and I touched it, and for 5 minutes it felt like I had a heartbeat. And I want to be like Dr. Pimple Popper on Instagram and lance it and drain it, but I'm like, I'll squeal and cry. Toronto Freddy, snow is coming. It isn't snowing already. Holy shit. Mike, who would you like to see play Wolverine in the MCU if they recast? Taron Egerton, who played Elton John and in The Kingsman, man. And a lot of people have like done mock-ups of him like that, and he's jacked all of a sudden. I know he got jacked for a role recently, but someone photoshopped the chops and all that, and I'm like, he looks really good. I think he'd be a really good Wolverine, and he'd have that intensity too. He's such a good actor. Jack Crofts, Mullen, what's your thoughts on Jason David Frank's new costume from Legend of the White Dragon, his movie with Bat in the Sun? I love it, dude. It's so realistic and grounded, yet you look at it and you're like, that's a Power Ranger. And I think it was very fitting. I still can't believe what happened to him. It's just, you know how cliche it is when it's like, ooh, right in the childhood feels? It fucking is. Same with Kevin Conroy. It's crazy. And even Kirstie Alley and stuff like that. Like, God, I used to always rent Look Who's Talking and Look Who's Talking Too, that film with her and Travolta with the talking babies. So, yeah. Mr. Frosty, I am Jewish. Well, happy Hanukkah, man. Hope it's a safe and good one. Because forgive my ignorance, man. Are you guys celebrating Hanukkah now? Is that before Christmas? I don't know where I saw that somewhere. But yeah, anyway, man, happy Hanukkah if you are celebrating it. Okay, so hang on. Let me just, okay, I'm just going to catch up on some super chats. Wolfman's got nards. Barry, dude, hello. £5 from Barry. Thank you so much, man. Happy birthday, Chris. Hope you have a great day. I've been loving the channel for years. Evolving is the right decision. We'll be there regardless. Thank you, man. Guys, if you haven't checked out Barry's channel, Wolfman's Got Nards, go check it out. He does great horror-related content, a lot of coverage on upcoming horror stuff, and he has the most delightful accent in the world that'll just charm the absolute pantaloons off you. Thank you, man. I really do appreciate that, Barry, and hope you're well, man. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, Dion, my good friend Dion, $14.99. Dude, holy shit, thank you. Happy birthday, Chris. 34 spankings this year. Well, but in all seriousness, thanks for being such an awesome friend and inspiration for me and everyone. Have a glass of red on me, man. Dion and I go way back. I met Dion, dude, was it 2016 at Glebe Island when they had Oz Comic Con at Glebe Island? You were the Riddler. I was Mark 1 Pirate Batman. Mark 1. That's how far back we're going. And you're just the sweetest kid. You've always just been just so sweet, man, and supportive. And it's always a delight to see you at cons, whether it's here, Melbourne, because, yeah, you're based in Melbourne. That's right. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. And actually, Dion, happy Hanukkah to you, sir. Because I know you do celebrate Hanukkah. Let me just cruise on down here. £5 from Gary. Thank you so much, Gary. Have you ever thought about making houses that look ultra realistic, not like your lollipop house? I saw someone do the Evil Dead cabin. Yeah, man. Like, yeah, for sure. It can be very tricky, especially when you're dealing with dimensions. Like the popsicle stick house literally is just behind the camera there, because I had to shift stuff around to facilitate the camera and stuff like that before I went live. So it's just sitting there right behind the camera. That's easy. That's like kindergarten stuff. But yeah, an actual house for sure. I think I know which one you're talking about with the Evil Dead. And it looks great, especially like the corrugated wavy iron roof bits and stuff like that. It looks like a high-end miniature they would have used in the film. Pardon me. Live stream gassiness. It's a thing, Geeks and Geekettes. But in terms of like a house, I don't know which house I'd build. Can you imagine trying to build the Home Alone house, like inside and out? You'd be working on that for years. Absolute years. And 3D print some Wet Bandits and Kevin. Dark Moon Films. Also, Chris, did you hear about Matthew Lillard being in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie alongside Josh Hutcherson? I did, man. I played Five Nights at Freddy's once, and it was pretty good. Like, it freaked me out a little. I just obviously never got into it as much as everyone else did. Like, it was a fucking phenomenon, and it still somewhat is, I think. Like, I still go to my local pop culture shop at Westfields, and there's still Five Nights at Freddy's merchandise there, so it's still a thing. But a movie, if you're going to do a movie, you got to go, like, dark and heavy. I have no idea who Lillard's playing. I don't know who Hutchison is playing, but like I'll be there to see it. Like I want to see where this goes. I want to get the shit scared out of me because even when I was playing the game, and I know full well this is a game, it scared me. So that says a lot when a game can scare you. Do you guys remember? I think it was called Fear, and yeah, it was essentially like The Grudge of video games. The Grudge scares the shit out of me. The Ring, all that type of stuff. But the OG Japanese versions, that the Japanese know how to scare the shit out of you. It's really scary how they do it. $5 from Frank Riker. What's the deal with scaling when it comes to modeling? What's a good scale for dioramas that aren't too big? Oh man, that's a hard one. Thank you, dude. Like it's hard instantly because I used to I collect hot toys and stuff like that. It's always like 1/6, but then you think of a 1/6 house for a 1/6 scale hot toys. That thing is huge. I don't know, like 1/1000th of a thousandth, or I don't know. Like the popsicle stick Elm Street house is a good scale. I don't know what scale it is. I'd have to measure that up. But if you were doing something like that, absolutely. The only thing is, it would just get so fiddly with some details, like minute little details. It would just be ridiculous. But thank you, man. And again, thank you for having me along with Dave McRae the other week for the our top 5 Christmas movies. That was a lot of fun, man. I love that. That was such a good stream. Brian sends in 5 Canadian dollars. Happy birthday. Love your stuff. Thank you so much, man. Hope all is well in Canada, wherever you are, whether it's the good old Vancouver, the Toronto, the Halifax, or the Newfoundland. That's like the furthest part of Canada. I remember when I was in Halifax, I'm like, we're at the end of the world. And everyone there's like, oh no, there's still Newfoundland. And they're half an hour ahead. Then it's the end of Canada. Oh, man. We've got Pickle Brick, not Pickle Rick, sends in $3.49. Happy birthday, Chris. Wolverine suit looks great. Thank you, man. It's doing my head in how bright it is. But once I start, so the idea is to load up a black acrylic in the airbrush, dialed out on full and mist, just a darker shade all over, probably more so on the yellow, because if you do it too much on the blue, it's eventually going to go black. So, and then go in with oils and stuff like that and just start to weather and distress and soil all the seams and the ribbings and stuff like that. Some people suggested on Instagram to keep the black strapping. I'm going to buy some blue canvas strapping and do one side and see how it looks. Because, yeah, someone said it may look just too uniform, whereas this, we could kind of go for the idea that it has been added on after the fact that he had his suit made. So, yeah, a lot to consider, but I'm aiming to have this done 2 or 3 weeks. 2 weeks, fingers crossed, utilizing Sean Reeves' beautiful cow that I used for the Midnight Suns shoot. I still haven't put that video up yet. I'm still waiting to get the green light to put that up. Like, everything's said and done. The game's out. I'm just still waiting to get the green light to put the video up with the breakdown of the Wolverine and Cap suits. So still waiting to do that. But thanks, man. Thank you very, very much. Okay. So I'm all caught up. Thank you so much, guys. Here he is, Big Ben Ball, guys. My good friend Ben Ball, aka Benable Effects, has just entered the chat. Thank you so much, man. The DCEU. Where the hell do you start? Like obviously chime in with your 2 cents, guys. But obviously, Cavill came back as Superman for Black Adam, and then James Gunn and Saffron have been like, we're going in a different direction. We want a younger Superman. That's kind of when he's starting out. You're no longer Superman. And obviously, he'd stepped down from the role of Geralt, apparently because of the writing. And now Henry is doing this Warhammer 40K series, which I'm all for because he's a big Warhammer 40K fan. It's essentially like doing The Witcher again. He's a big fan. He's going to do good with whatever he does. And I obviously think he'd be a consultant on it, maybe producer. Who knows? But it's just been a shit show. There was talks that James Gunn and Peter Safran met with Affleck. They met with Ben Affleck to discuss him directing a DC film. They didn't say anything about Batman, just a DC film. If he does go on to Dino Guy, full reboot is the way to go. I get where you're coming from, man, 100%. I just feel with what they built up, all these loose ends is just like guillotined. I would have loved to have seen, and I keep repeating myself ad nauseum, I would have loved to have seen Affleck's solo film with Manganiello as Deathstroke, possibly sprinkle in some Leto Joker, but not the cringe Leto Joker, like the Joker, the Clown Prince of Gotham, portrayed by Jared Leto, with some good writing, good directing. If he's going to direct another DC film that he's not starring in and it's just not Batman, I don't know if I'm interested. Like, just give the man his solo film, wrap it up, call it a day. Obviously, Gal is no longer getting Wonder Woman 3. They've canned that. Aquaman 3 is not happening. We haven't even got Aquaman 2 yet. But apparently Jason's going to be portraying Lobo at some point. I don't know. There were murmurs before all this stuff happened. Once The Flash was out and The Flash was done, they were going to be rid of Ezra, just send him off into the ether, and then concentrate on Henry, Ben, and Gal as the Trinity. Whether that means Man of Tomorrow, World's Finest, Justice League 2, I don't know. But it's just absolute shit show. It's like I said at the beginning of the stream, it's more entertaining and more a spectacle behind the scenes than as it is on screen. And there have been so many fan casting posts about who should be Superman, who should be Batman. You know, they're going for the people in their early 20s now. They want not the origin story, but essentially kind of like Pattinson. They've been Batman for a couple of years. I don't know. Let me just read some comments here. What I don't understand is, why do DC have to do like Marvel? 100%, man. I think they kind of, I wouldn't say jump the gun. Get it? Jump the gun. I think they kind of panicked and they're like, oh my God, we've got to catch up. We've got to be on their level. No, like, don't copy. Do your own thing. Have your origin stories. Have your solo films. And if you feel like doing a Justice League film, do it because you want to, and you have a damn solid script that pays respect to the mythology of the characters, doesn't butcher their characteristics, especially with Justice League, how they butchered Affleck's Batman and he was kind of like the comical side piece. But then in Zack Snyder's Justice League, he was back to true Batfleck form. So I get it, man. It seems like they've panicked and they've had like a midlife crisis and thought, we have to do something. It doesn't matter how good it is or how bad it is. We just have to do something. And a lot of stuff was definitely rushed. So yeah, I feel you, man. Just because one studio is doing something doesn't mean you have to. If anything, that gives you pause to do something different. Go back to the drawing board and be like, okay, Marvel's doing this. What can we do? But really pay respect to our intellectual properties. Just a thought. I really think starting over was the best thing for DC. This is coming from JK Ultra. I did enjoy Peacemaker, but a guy with the immature and comedic style of filming that, James, makes me worried. I get it, man. Yes, 100%. Peacemaker was great. I enjoyed it, but obviously James is well known for Guardians. That has a certain type of humor, style, look to it. But to have someone in charge where a lot of your characters rely on dark, heavy kind of storylines and characteristics, bit of a tricky one. And I think that's where, you know, Zach obviously had his strong points. He had his weak points. Zach understood it. Zach got it. I think Ben understands it too. Ben is a massive Batman fanatic. I'm just trying to think who else they could have brought in. There was a rumor that Warner Brothers begged Andy Muschietti to do what James Gunn is doing now. And Andy Muschietti's like, well, no, I'm good. We're wrapping up Flash. I don't really want to, that's a big commitment. And then they went to James Gunn. That is the rumor I've heard, that they went to Andy Muschietti and said, can you oversee everything and reboot everything? So yeah, I get it. Roberto, hey dude, hey man. Yes, sadly I agree with you. Reboot is the way to go now. Start from scratch and slowly build up the Justice League of America films as they should have back when Man of Steel came out. Yeah, dude, like Man of Steel is criminally underrated. Man of Steel planted the seed for what could have been, and it was just a very classy film. Nolan was producing, and you could tell it just kind of had that touch of class that Nolan has. And then, yeah, it was just a good starting foundation. And then it just snowballed, but in a bad way. I'm not going to say in the worst way possible, but it just snowballed a bit too much. It wasn't organic. It didn't feel natural with the progression of these characters, these films. And then Justice League boom, was out. Like 2016 and 2017 was a blur with BVS, Suicide Squad, and then Wonder Woman, Justice League. It was crazy. Like those 2 years just fused into one. And I think, pardon me, they rushed a lot of things. Destiny mindset. I don't understand why it's so hard for someone who's as talented, creative as James Gunn to make Elseworld stories. Marvel introduced us to the multiverse. Why can't DC do the same? Spot on. Spot the fuck on. Yeah, you've come from a studio where you've seen so much behind the scenes stuff of this multiverse. Like, of course, Gunn would be in the writer's room, like passing through the office when they're working on Far From Home. Not Far From Home, No Way Home. There's so many homes. And then Multiverse of Madness. Like, the guy would have so much industry knowledge with what's going on there. Why not take that, put it over to the DCEU, but obviously not a copy and paste. It's like when you copy your mate's work, like in high school, and be like, just change it up a bit. Change it up a bit to suit the template of the DCEU. Just take notes. Take cliff notes and stuff like that. I don't get it either, man. There's obviously something we don't know. Like, we can comment till the cows come home. We can make these videos. We can do these live streams where we're just like, I just don't understand. And we don't. And we probably never will. But there is obviously something going on there where they just like, we just have to start from scratch. Like the hires up, the new powers to be. I don't know. Algenardo Salazar. I hope I pronounced that correctly, sir. Best of wishes for you, mate. Enjoy your birthday. Thank you so much, man. Hunter Iggy, Cosplay Chris, don't forget that the Marvel has to reboot soon too in the movies. Like, because of where the phases are going, you mean they're due for a reboot? It's not a bad thought, man. Like, I never even really thought about that. I just assume they just keep going and going. They're like the Energizer Bunny. Yeah. Interesting times ahead. Hang on, let me just cruise back on up. Okay, so I got that one, got that one, got that one. Destiny mindset. I'm concerned the reboot will make it so much more confusing and messy than it already is. It will. It absolutely will. It's confusing and messy as it is. And I will always be there day one to see the film because I love these characters. I love the DC universe. Whatever they do with the characterization of Batman, I'm going to be there opening day. I want to see it. At the moment, for me, it's the Batman or the Dark Knight. I would have loved to have adored Batman v Superman because of Affleck. Affleck is my favorite Batman. I know he's not everyone's cup of tea, but the fact that you could have had something oh so good with his Batman in a solo film, and just to have that taken away, I think is a big disservice to a lot of fans who love him. If he's not your cup of tea, I get it 100%. If Bale's your guy, then you got a damn good trilogy. And I envy that because at one point, Bale was my favorite Batman. And then Affleck came along and I saw this broken down, jaded Bruce Wayne and Batman that was violent. And that kind of struck a chord with me. I was like, whoa, this is something I've never seen, but it's also, Frank Miller, Dark Knight Returns. I want to see more of this. And to not get that, it sucks. It sucks so bad. A Train 98. Hey, Cosplay Chris, happy birthday. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. Diner Guy, Gunn has the ability to write heart. DC really isn't supposed to be dark. I mean, sometimes with the characters, man, yeah, they have to go dark. But yeah, James Gunn can write very heartfelt bits of dialogue. Like even just watching the Guardians 3 trailer, I got a bit teary. And, if that's anything to go by with how the rest of the film is going to be, hopefully we're in for a good treat. But yeah, he understands the feels. Put it that way. That's a strength of his. Destiny Mindset and Evil Alex, happy birthday. Thank you so much, guys. Diner Guy, I heard they begged Todd Phillips. That's another one. Yes. Sorry. Yes. Todd Phillips. Sorry. I said Andy Muschietti. It was Todd Phillips. I read the post a couple of days ago. And you're right, man. It was Todd Phillips. So, because they've just started filming Joker 2. And I don't know if you guys saw, fucking AI stuff that's going around at the moment. Someone did AI of Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn on set, and it looked legit. I first saw the post, I was like, whoa, she actually looks pretty good as Harley. Like, I'm impressed. Like, it's very slick, but and then someone's like, guys, it's AI. And I'm like, oh, damn. And even Todd Phillips saw them, and he's like, Lady Gaga's not filming with us until January. So he's in the thick of that. The last thing he wants whilst filming Joker 2, which no pressure at all to try and do as best, if not better than the first Joker film, is take over the DCEU. My God, what a headache. What an absolute headache. Spawn Revenge 92. Happy birthday, Chris. Thank you so much, man. Evil Alex, director of the Raid films, was planning to do a Deathstroke film. That would have been awesome. Again, just why? Why not? Like, I would love a Deathstroke film, even if Batman wasn't in it, or Batman just showed up for a little bit. I love the character of Slade Wilson. Love Deathstroke. Love the aesthetic of Deathstroke. I loved his character in Arkham Origins. I don't like what they did with him in Arkham Knight. It's very weird. But him in Arkham Origins was great. And Manganiello, man. Manganiello is a beast. Again, that's repeating myself at nauseum. Just to have him and Affleck go up against each other, these two big dudes, and, you know, tussle like they did in Arkham Origins, especially that trailer from where they're at the docks with all the shipping containers and it's snowing and you see him shoot the bullet and it just cuts the chain and you see it in slow-mo. And take notes. Charlie, hey, Chris, happy birthday, bro. Do you think studios lean too far into directors and their ideas due to their small success? Lean too far. Do you think studios lean too far into direct? Like, as if they let the directors take the reins? I think it's a bit of give and take, to be honest. It depends what the director's credentials are. Like, obviously, you got Andy Muschietti, who's directed The Flash, who had great success with it, that brought Warner Brothers and New Line Cinema a lot of money. I don't know what else he's directed. I'll have to have a look. But obviously, it chapter 1 and 2 always just comes to mind because that's what he's known for. And then test screenings with The Flash have been like through the roof, which is really cool. So I think it's a bit of, give and take, man. It can go one way or the other. It depends. If the studio has a strong mandate, then they'll have that director on the leash, where if they're like, just do your thing, and then the director kind of gets a bit carried away. Case in point, Batman Returns with Tim Burton, even though I don't have a problem with that because Batman Returns is an awesome film. I love how dark it is. So yeah, man, I think it definitely is a bit of both, depending on the script and like what characters they are. I'm just going to grab some super chats here. $5 from Gary. Rather Cavill did D&D. I don't know it, but it looks cool. Don't know Warhammer, but it's confusing to many Space Marine factions and there's no good guys. So I'm not familiar with, and thank you, Gary, for that. It's very sweet of you, man. I'm not familiar with the mythology, the background of Warhammer. I used to collect Warhammer in year 7 and 8. I only used to paint them. I used to have the Black Templars Space Marines and the Lord of the Rings ones, only because I like painting them. Every time I'd go into Games Workshop, they're like, oh, do you want to play? I'm like, mate, I have no idea how to play. I'll watch you guys play. I'm sitting there and they're like rolling the dice and they're like, is there a way to get out of the dungeon without the wizard key? I'm like, what is going on? I'm no good at board games on a good day, guys. So watching that, I'm like, I'm just going to sit in the paint corner and just paint stuff. And I love building the terrain. I remember for Christmas in year 7, mum and dad got me the terrain book from Warhammer. And I used to read that thing back to front. I used to go to the toilet every morning. So much information. I used to go to the loo every morning and just read it back to front. I knew exactly what was on every page, but I just love looking at the scenery and how they built it. I actually do want to get that book again because it's actually got some really useful shit in it that I could still use on custom collectibles to this day. It got like water damaged ages ago when we had it in storage under the house and it flooded one time. I was heartbroken. That thing was like the playbook in The Waterboy that the coach has, the green playbook that he keeps like scrunched up close to his chest. That was me with the terrain book. So again, man, I'm with you. I have no idea what's going on. But if Henry Cavill's a fan and there's that video of him going to the Warhammer headquarters with his coffee and his big sweater and he's just jacked looking at all the Warhammers. But he looks so happy. He's looking at stuff and he's like, just like a little kid. So if it's his passion, man, I'll be there to watch it because you'll be able to tell. Like The Witcher. He's a big fan of The Witcher, but it's just sad what happened that he walked away. But I think he walked away for the right reason, if it's what I'm going by with the rumor mill. Frank Riker, I never knew a little boy who never pretended to be Superman or Batman. I think most of us look forward to Shazam because it's a kid being a superhero and a little lighter in the violence. Yeah, 100%, Frank. Yeah, man. I love the first Shazam movie. I watched it a couple of weeks ago again. I loved it. And I'm really looking forward to Fury of the Gods. I don't even know if they're continuing with that one or they're keeping Zachary Levi. I really hope they do, man, because he just oozes charm as Shazam, and the casting is so great, whether it be the kids or the adults. It's like the casting of It Chapter 2 with the Losers Club when they're adults. It's just perfect casting, and the costumes are great. And yeah, it's a nice change of pace in the DCEU. You know, you have these certain types of films and you veer off for a bit, have Shazam, go back to these ones, just like a little side quest, if you will, but like a refreshing side quest. You're like, okay, let's get back on track. Shazam, back on track. I just wish we had a scene Shazam, The Rock, and Cavill in one film. I'm just going to grab Sora's super chat and then we're going to talk about the fucking Rock. Sora sends in 50 pounds. Holy shit. Thank you so much. Wow. Sora, thank you. That's way too sweet. Thank you. Happy birthday, Chris. All the best, mate. Big fan. Can't wait for all your new cosplay suits next year. Thank you. Thank you so much. I just froze for a second and I panicked a bit. Sora, that's so sweet of you. Thank you. Yeah, look, 2023, I'll definitely be hitting the ground running with this guy. I'm hoping to have it done in 2 weeks and then film photos with Dan and Sarah. First 2 cabs off the rank. I've got the Biohazard Batman and the Ninja Spawn McFarlane toys. Again, these will be the express ones, guys. Just nice, easy, and simple, and you'll get the point. Just for a bit of fun. For the longest time, I've been playing that Ninja Turtles diorama in the old vintage TV. Someone was asking me about it last night. I'm like, yeah, dude, it's happening. It's just the logistics of it. Again, because it'll get... can get a bit pricey when you're doing a big diorama like that, but you want to also look at the reference with the rooftop, especially that end fight sequence with the rooftop, and be like, all right, how can I, pardon me, logistically make this look good? And try not to make it too bulky because I want it to be a wall hanger thing. So I'm like, how thin can I make it to have it hang on the wall, but still have depth so I can have stuff going on? Apart from that, another one, which is 2 ones which are Superman related, which will be a lot of fun. And that's it for now. I don't want to get too ahead of myself because then I get a bit flustered and a bit carried away. I get very overwhelmed. What else? Possibly tinkering with the idea of repainting the Joker head and putting rooted hair in, because I got my confidence up with the Officer Francis head and doing the hair on that. I really got up a lot of confidence doing the hairline on that. Christopher Nelson actually saw it, which was really cool. And he had some very sweet and nice things to say. So I was very chuffed with that. He's such a lovely bloke. Oh, screw it. I'm just going to put you there because you're going to fall down and scare the shit out of me. But yeah, Sora, thank you so much. Yes, that's it for now. Just try and keep things... like, it's good to have a list of stuff, but if you have a massive list, then it can get very overwhelming. But yeah, so Wolverine, 2 Superman projects, those custom collectibles, plan the Ninja Turtles diorama one. That's going to be a big one, but should be a fun one. And have like LED strip lights around on the inside so you can change it. Like my ring light here, you can change it to like, hang on, green, red. It looks like... Doesn't sound so bad. It looks like the red light district in Amsterdam. Back to blue. There we go. That's nice and easy. Sora, thank you so much. And happy holidays and just stay safe. And thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Kenzel, did you ever get into any of the Arrowverse shows? All right. So as the famous Jerry Seinfeld said, here's the deal. I watched 2 episodes of Arrow. I love them. I just never got around to finishing the rest. That's it. The whole CW thing, I it's not that I didn't want to watch them. I just never got around to it. And I think now I'm so far gone. There's so much catching up to do. It's like, whoa, jeez. Um, but yeah, I've always loved the costumes. I've wanted to do so I did my evolution of Superman's costumes. I'd love to do an evolution of the Flash's costumes and talking about Grant Gustin's Flash costumes because they were made at this place in Canada called Ocean Drive Leather, which is this little leather shop owned by two brothers, I think. And when they started filming Arrow and all that there, they filmed all those shows in Canada because it's cheaper. It's a good tax incentive. They went to this little leather place and they've been making those suits for all those shows ever since. Anything that requires a leather jacket, leather superhero suits and stuff like that. With the Supergirl stuff, that textured fabric is made, I think, by Design in LA. Ocean Drive may have something to do with like little bits here and there, the boots and stuff like that. I do know David Payer of UD Replicas did the latest or the season before accessories on the Flash suit, which is really cool because I remember back in the old forum days, David was sculpting his own suits, and then he got the license for Warner Brothers, and now he's making stuff for Kiss and Arrow, the Flash. It's great. Okay, let me just cruise on down here. Oh wow, the chat is absolutely blowing up. Holy shit. Sorry guys, let me just play catch up for a Gary minute. Okay. So The Rock. Very interesting what has transpired over the last week with The Rock. Apparently, he leaked fake numbers or false numbers or inaccurate numbers for Black Adam, the box office returns of Black Adam. He's apparently unfollowed Warner Brothers and the Black Adam Instagram page. He has also released that statement saying that he, after talking with James Gunn and Safran, that he will no longer be Black Adam. I have to go back over it. Someone said that he hinted that he's going over to Marvel. I don't know. Can anyone back that up? I didn't give it another read. I gave it a quick read over and it was essentially just like, okay, so I'm going to be Black Adam. What the fuck? After 15 years of pushing for this, it sucks. I think he handled it in a very odd fashion that isn't usually like him. He's, the businessman, but also a class act. It's very interesting the way he handled it. He just randomly mentioned Marvel in the announcement from Dynagar. All right, no worries. Thank you, man. Just very interesting. Like if he did put out false numbers and then he was like, just remember Captain America First Avenger made this much. Like he was really grasping at straws, it seems. I'm just like, dude, just let it go. Sometimes films tank. Maybe just wasn't the right time. I enjoyed Black Adam. I thought it was safe and fun. Like I said in my review, it wasn't exactly anything groundbreaking. And we all know why we really went to see it with that end credit sequence. And look how that turned out. It's like what Heath says in The Dark Knight. And look where that got you. So it's just interesting. Really bloody interesting. Don't know like if they are going to ever use Black Adam again, or if they do, it's going to be a younger version. Yeah, I don't know. It's really weird and just a spectacle and a half. Happy birthday, Chris. Hope you enjoying the iPhone. There he is, Anthony. My friend Anthony, guys. This is my friend Anthony. He works at the local Apple store, and he actually helped me get my iPhone 14, and those are a lot of notifications. I'm going to put them down and worry about them later. Jesus. Doug, happy birthday, Chris. Thank you, Doug. Thank you very much. Guys, thank you for the birthday wishes. It's absolutely beautiful. Jado Rose, happy birthday. Cool Wolverine suit in the background. Thank you, man. I just can't wait to dirty the shit out of it because it's just too clean for my liking at the moment. But yeah, the cow's getting there. I stripped all the accessories off yesterday that I had on for the Midnight Suns look because that project's all wrapped, and otherwise it was just going to sit in storage. And Sean Reeves makes a beautiful Wolverine cowl. I'm going to have the white lenses, but like contact lenses, so it completely whites out my eyes. I'll have fangs. I'm going to have the Wolverine fangs and just angry man. Charlie, what's your ideal Superman suit? Christopher Reeve, man. Yeah, there's something just so classic, simple, and aesthetically pleasing about Reeves' Superman costumes, even when he's dark Superman and the colors are a lot more muted and darker. It even looks great. Like I love Cavill's suits, but ultimately I think Chris Reeves, the brightness, and it helps that he fills that suit out. He has that beautiful jaw. Yeah, man, it's got to be Reeve. When I was a kid, like growing up in the 90s, it was Dean Cain. As I said in my evolution video, it was just something so just like whimsical and swashbuckling about his suit, the bright satin of it. I loved it. But yeah, when it all comes down to it, man, Christopher Reeve all the way. Okay, I'm caught up on that. Sorry, guys. I'm just making sure. Got everything. Let me cruise on down here. Man of Steel is my favorite suit and Superman film. Yeah, Man of Steel. I do like Man of Steel, man, especially with how different it was for the time. I like the BVS Superman suit. I love how they kind of upped the colors a bit, but I also do like the color tone of Man of Steel. But yeah, I definitely do like the richer colors of the BVS suit for sure. Fionn, hey Chris, happy birthday and a very Merry Christmas. Well, to you too, man. Not happy birthday, but if it is your birthday, well, that's pretty good. But Merry Christmas to you, sir. Destiny Mindset, happy birthday, Chris. Tips for someone who's struggling to grow biceps, working out for a year and went from 160 to 210 pounds. Jesus Christ. That's incredible. Look quite big from the side, but my biceps look slim from the front. Any tips? I feel you, man. I like lately because I've been trying to just put on as much weight as possible for him. So the comment section doesn't rip me a new one because the internet. I've been struggling to get my biceps sore the next day. So like that's where they're at the moment. Trying to anyway. Dude, good old start with like you always have to start with your good old compound exercise, the old school golden era exercises. So like barbell curls. Keep them heavy, but not so heavy where you have to cheat. If you do have to cheat, make sure it's at the end. I don't really believe in full-blown cheat curls for every set. You know, you're swinging and then it's putting unnecessary strain on your tendons where they can snap and stuff like that. Some people love cheat curls. Absolutely, go for it. You do you. But I'll do the rep range for barbell curls like 8 to 10. Maybe if I'm feeling cheeky, I'll go a bit heavier and do 4 to 6 on the last one just to really break the muscle down and recruit more fibers. Then you can get your incline bench and do incline dumbbell curls. Keep it under tension. A new one I found is get the cable, you know, like for cable crossovers, put one of the sides down the bottom and you get your knee and you get the cable and you do that. Do that as a finishing move. Like you crouch down, kneel down and have your elbow on your knee and you essentially just squeeze, and that gives you that nice peak on your bicep. What else? Hammer curls, dude. So I really have to like build up my forearms. I naturally have very thin forearms like my dad, just very lean, and hammer curls, pardon me, is the way to go. Heavy, like I'll get like 18 kilo or 20 kilo dumbbells, hammer curls, and then last set, I'll drop the weight right down and just do to complete failure to the point where when I'm done and I go to wash my face in the bathroom, I can't even put my hands up because they start spasming. But yeah, at the moment, I'm kind of in the same boat, man. I'm finding it hard to really get really sore the next day. But I think you just have to mix it up a little. And like you can go on YouTube and look at fitness channels that have tutorials and stuff like that, and they'll have like interesting takes on bicep exercises. Preacher stuff as well, using the preacher pad, whether it's straight bar, easy curl bar, dumbbell, just doing one arm curls and stuff like that, and just making sure to squeeze at the top of every exercise, and that'll just give you that nice peak as well. So there's so many options, man. I think also it's just a case of mixing it up. That's the best bet, man. And eating and sleeping, of course. Like sleep's key. Sleep and nutrition. But obviously don't, like, I see some blokes in the gym that are like 20, 21, and I get it. I was the same back then. You just go gun-ho, like, oh yeah, full for the boys, whoa! And you're doing like 80 kilo dumbbell presses, and I'm like, dude, your shoulder is going to like disintegrate into dust. Some people can take it, some people can't. I fucked my shoulder years ago when I was in my early 20s because of that, because I was just stupid, bulletproof, and thought I was so strong. And And now I dumbbell press like 52 kilos, and that's a good 8 to 10 rep range. But also just shoulders love the burn. Shoulders love to be fatigued as well. Make sure you're controlling it, man. You're still going to get growth. That hypertrophy, whatever it is where the muscle breaks down, has to recruit more fibers. As long as you're doing that, you're fine. But yeah, man, mix it up. Make sure you're eating enough, but the good stuff. Take a good multivitamin. I take krill oil for my joints, for my heart, brain, and eyes and stuff like that. I probably need a double dosage for my brain, but also just my joints. Like krill oil just lubes the joints up, especially when you're doing like your squats and all that, and puts a lot of pressure on your knees with cartilage and stuff like that. It's just like prepping for when you get older and more frail. Okay, let me cruise on down here. Oh, Fangirl. Good night, guys. Sorry, it's 11 p.m. here, up early in the morning. Have a great stream, guys. Thank you so much, Fangirl. Take care and all the best and happy holidays. Gattaca, same boat. Chris, you look great, man. Dude, like I think when you're living in your own head, you're your own worst critic. And yeah, look, I especially with the short that Dan, Sarah, and myself did for the bat, I try to put on as much weight as possible in 3 weeks after getting back from Canada and getting a real bad flu and just dropping weight. It's crazy how much weight you can drop when you're sick and you're not eating or training and sitting still. But yeah, I think I'm my own worst critic, and I think a lot of people can agree, especially when you look in the mirror some mornings and you're like, no. James Hennigan, hey, happy birthday. Thank you, man. Do you think they missed an opportunity not casting Grant as the Flash in the movies? And would you like Gunn to bring him in as the Flash as well as Amell as Green Arrow? Yes. 100%. For Grant, absolutely. Grant is a fucking class act, even though I've only seen snippets of the Flash. He just seems like a really cool guy. He loves the character. He loves playing the character. He's very faithful to it. He's good to his fans. I think it'd be a credit to them to bring him into the DCEU. And someone mentioned before bringing Pattinson into the DCEU. At one point, they were considering that. And then James Gunn's is like, no, that's his own separate thing. Joaquin's his own separate thing. We're going to keep them at bay over there. And I'm happy with that. I'm happy that they're doing that. As John Campea said, Pattinson's Batman is so grounded. If you introduce anything of the supernatural elements, then you kind of lose the point and purpose of his Batman and what makes his Batman so special. You know, you can't have Clayface or Mr. Freeze in the Dark Knight trilogy. You could try, but you would lose the realism. Granted, you could kind of have, and I'm hoping maybe they do Mr. Freeze in the Matt Reeves trilogy at some point, but like really realistic. I remember at one point the flick pick was like, imagine Mr. Freeze is a serial killer and his nickname is that because he freezes his victims or something. I'm like, that's genius. I dig that. Yeah, I think Grant would be great in the DCEU, man. Whether he wears Ezra's suit or his, I think they'd have to definitely upgrade the suit because you're working with a movie budget now. In terms of Stephen Amell, yeah, absolutely. Like there's no reason they couldn't because they've done the characters so well. They're fan favorites. The general consensus is people fucking love them. So why not? Like you're going to get bums on seats if fans of the CW series see that these guys are now in the DCEU. Even me included, and I haven't even watched the CW series, but they seem like really likable blokes and they really love playing these characters. So I'm going to watch them on screen and be like, you guys are having the time of your life and you're doing it well. And that's all I want. Frank Riker, what's for Christmas dinner at the Cosplay Chris household? So Christmas Day, I'm going to my mum and dad's place. Gus and I are going to be going to mum and dad's. I'm making a pasta bake. Mum's making the turkey, potato bake. We'll have a salad. And a barrel of red wine, man. So it's supposed to be a hot day. I don't know what the hell's going on. This summer has been the worst summer ever. It's cold. Like I can hear the wind howling outside right now. And it's just been the opposite to El Nino, where El Nino is supposed to be a hot and dry summer. It's the opposite to that, where it's like rainy and stuff like that. But apparently on Christmas Day, it's supposed to be like 30 odd degrees, sunny. We'll just sit by the pool. throw the dog in the pool, let him cool down, let him have a wander around, just eat, drink, and just simple, low key, Frank. That's usually what we like doing every year, man, because my dad's originally from Brisbane. For those who aren't familiar with the States, Brisbane's the next state up. So dad's got a lot of family up there, and mum's side is very small, like mum's an only child, stuff like that. So we kind of just keep things simple, and we're happy to do that. And the tradition every year is we either watch Home Alone 1 or 2 and just keep recirculating that. So I think this year it's Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. So that should be good. The Pengler. Hey, Chris, happy birthday. If you could see a Joker-style solo film for another Batman villain, who would you want? Someone mentioned before Deathstroke. I'd love to see Deathstroke. I'd love to see Deathstroke, getting bounties and stuff like that, doing his thing as a mercenary, and then maybe at the end set something up with Batman. I would pay to see that, man. Probably not Harley. Like, I've seen Harley's origin story like a little bit with Suicide Squad and stuff like that. I don't really need to see it. Possibly the Penguin, but like proper gangster Penguin with a good storyline, like Goodfellas meets the Penguin, something like that. J-Man Fett Cosplay. Hey, Chris, before I go, how are you going to make your own claws, or are you going to buy some? Dude, I have some that I got off eBay. Going the route of like molding and casting and 3D printing and can get like inconsistent. I found some off eBay. Wolverine claws are so hard to find now. I used to get them from Dark Matter Props. They were great. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, you could get the X-Men Bryan Singer ones where they rest on the top of the hand, the Wolverine or Logan ones where they come straight out of here and jet out. He did the bone claws. He did his daughter's ones, X-23, her 2 claws. And he doesn't offer them anymore, which sucks. But I found these ones off eBay. They're the ones that jet straight out, and they're going to be inserted into the leather gloves that I'll be using for these. So there's actually a motorbike shop about 2 minutes from here, and they just have the biggest selection of gloves, which is great because I can actually go in and try them on instead of looking at stuff on the net and being like, I think that'll work. And then you get them and you're like, this won't work. So I probably will take the claws into the motorbike shop. They're due to arrive today from eBay. They came within Sydney, which is great. They're like $40. I'll probably take the claws in there. If they arrive today, I'll take them in tomorrow. Be like, guys, I'm sorry, but I've got to try these on with gloves to make sure they'll fit so I can Dremel in the notches to slot the claws in. So yeah, just pre-bought them, man. I'll probably bloody up the stumps, like when they've come out of Logan and there's like blood pooling around them, or maybe blood spray on them from slicing some poor bub. But yeah, man, just easy like that. Gary sends in £10. Thank you, Gary. The King of Earth sent his 20 sons with their own factors and 2 conqueror planets. They all turned on one another, and all factors have their own ideals of them are bad. I think it's too much for average people. What? Is this a Gaz? Is this a quote from something? If it is, I'm so sorry. I need context, my friend. The King of Earth sent his 20 sons with their own factions to conquer. Oh wait, are we talking about Warhammer? I'm assuming we're talking about Warhammer, man. I hope so, and thank you for that. Daruz, hey Chris, today's my birthday too. Happy birthday, dude. Holy shit. Is it the 21st where you are, or it's the 22nd? So I'm the 22nd, obviously in the States and all that, still the 21st. That's awesome, man. Happy birthday. Hope it's a good one so far. Chem's out. At this point, I'm waiting for it to snow in Sydney. Yeah, no shit. Especially in the mornings when I take the dog out for a walk. I've got a jumper on. I'm like, this is horse shit. I'm supposed to be drenched in like 2 liters of ball sweat by now, but I'm not. I'm freezing. This is ridiculous. Read comics. Are you interested in James Gunn's Young Superman movie? It's like what Matt Reeves did with the Batman, how it's like not an origin. I am. And pardon me, I'm so gassy, guys. I'm sorry. Like I said, I'll be there opening day for whatever the hell they do. But it's heartbreaking for Henry, Ben, pending whatever the hell Ben's going to do. If he directs something and he's not Batman, if he does direct his Batman film and he is Batman. But yeah, I'll be there, man. I'm interested. There have been rumors going around about who they'd want to cast, and from what I've seen, it looks pretty promising. Like, I'll be there with open arms and, go into it with an open mind, and hopefully it's something good, refreshing, and we're like, okay, this reboot and this complete clean slate was for a reason. So, Mary, would you like to find a Black Adam suit and make your own someday? I don't know if I'd do it justice. Maybe if I made it for someone else, but that suit is crazy good. That textured fabric is beautiful. The fact that Rock had minimal padding in that, was amazing. Reese, hey Cosplay Chris, I'm a leather worker and would love to send you a cowboy gunboat to be used in a cosplay. Would you be open to that? Absolutely, man. That's very sweet of you. Are you on the good old Instagrams? Yeah, if like I always try and like now and then I'll check message requests, or like leave a comment on a photo, man. I usually check my notifications more than message requests because message requests get a bit weird sometimes. You see some weird shit. Salad ass Tom Brady, if you're watching, I love you. Gary Warhammer. Okay, yes, 40K. Yes. All right. Thank you, man. Again, I have no idea about the mythology of Warhammer. I just painted them because they look cool, which I think a lot of people did. But yeah, I'd watch the game and watch them play the game and be like, I have no idea what the hell is going on. DMS. So what's it like in the future? Sloths now rule the world. I am now my dog's slave. The dog now owns the apartment. He owns the deed to the apartment. I now pay rent to my dog. That's just how things are in the future. Jonathan Lewis. I'll catch it on HBO Max. Maybe speed through it. Okay, so we're up to date there. Okay, cool. Dion, going back to the DCEU discussion. Oh, shit. What's your opinion about James Gunn recasting everyone? Do you think he'll recast everyone or just leave the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker? Last time I checked, and that was yesterday, he's like, we're leaving those guys but recasting everyone else, like fresh slate. And yeah, going younger, early 20s, they've been doing this, like whether it's Batman, Superman, for a couple of years now. So, like, what can you do, man? Like, we can only do so much. Obviously, the Snyder Cut happened because of fan uproar, and I don't think it's the same is going to happen with what's going on at the moment, and especially like what happened with The Rock, and The Rock's no longer Black Adam, and that must suck after 15 years. Like, you got cast 15 years ago, you've been working towards it all this time, and now it's just nothing. So I have to be all for it, man. If it's one of those things where this is it, then you have to just accept and be like, okay, well, we'll just roll with it, and whatever happens, whatever comes out next, it'll be a good discussion topic. It'll, make for a fun video and stuff like that. It's interesting. It's heartbreaking. It's exciting because it's something fresh and new. Let's just hope Gunn knows what the fuck he's doing, man. Again, he knows how to write. Like you guys said, he knows how to write heart, tug at the heartstrings. He's a comic book nerd, but he has a very certain type of filmmaking. Some may play well into the DCEU, some parts may not. Only time will tell. Love that Wolverine suit from Heath Tompkins. Thank you, man. It's very clean, but oof. So that's actually an old Captain America belt, but it's very reminiscent of the comics style Wolverine belt. So I'm going to use lacquer thinner to get this belt buckle off, and I'm going to make a brand new giant X belt buckle, like a big old school one, I think. Almost like a cowboy. Frank Riker, in the year 1.5 million, humankind is enslaved by giraffes. Song from Futurama. Very, very parched at the moment. 100%, man. Futurama, I think Futurama knows a little too much about what's going to happen in the future. Evil Alex, love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles video. Love the film. Those suits were awesome. You think we ever see a live action film with those kind of suits again? Would love to see a dark live action film again. Dude, for the longest time, with how how much animatronic technology has evolved, and the fact that the Henson company still actively builds animatronics, you could do so much now. They actually interviewed Steve Barron, who directed the first TMNT, the 1991 that I did that video on. And they're like, what would you do today? And he goes, get the Henson company again, but this time do practical suits and clean and enhance certain parts with CGI. Have the two work together. Have the practical and the CGI complement each other and blend together. Because that's like, CGI is a tool. It's like sometimes if it's too much in your face, you're like, well, that's just too much of a spectacle. Whereas you have it where it's seamless, and you find out after the fact that it was CGI enhanced, or buildings were added with CGI. Like apparently Brendan Fraser's makeup in The Whale has been enhanced here and there with CGI. And I was like, oh shit, I've only seen the trailer, but that looks pretty damn good. Subtle. So I know there's the new cartoon coming out that Seth Rogen is behind. And I'm like, I want live action. I don't want guys in mocap suits. I want animatronic, state of the art, maybe with a few mocap dots here and there to zhuzh things up. But I want that 1990s feel again. And I don't think we'll get it. But if we do, my God, I would just be so happy, dude. So happy. And that's why I want to make a video on that. Like those suits are just incredible. Granted, they've all rotted away and they're all dust now. They've been Thanos. But holy shit, they were just beautiful. And that's why I want to do that video as well. Just the suit performers, the stunt team, the cinematography, the writing, the voice actors, all these elements revolving around these beautiful suits just elevates them so much. Whether we see it again, I don't know, man. But you'd think we would have, with just how much we've advanced with animatronic technology, with foam latex, and just believability with facial movements and stuff like that, and the way the puppeteers can use stuff now and pre-record lines that feed into the animatronic servos, so they're pre-recorded and all you have to do is hit play and they'll do the exact lip syncing, and then the actor can do their thing. Like, come on, man. Like, it's right there. You just got to bang out a damn good script that's on par with the 1990s film and just have it heavy and just have a damn good cast. Like, I'm getting very passionate about this, Alex, if you can't tell. Oh, man. Patty Lavery, happy birthday from Ireland. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. Hope all is well over there. And forgive my ignorance, man. Is it winter over there? If it is, I hope it's not too blisteringly cold. All right, let me just cruise on down here. Okay. Jose, Chris, if James Gunn decides not to recast Gal, Jason, and Ezra, do you think there will be backlash from people who want Cavill as Superman? Yes. Yeah, I think like the general word will probably be like, well, why are they safe and Henry isn't? Like, you built him back up in Black Adam and you gave us false hope. But why are they safe? Like, why are they a protected species? So I would have questions, man, 100%. Can you imagine if they backflipped on that and they're like, oh, Jason's still Aquaman, Gal's still Wonder Woman. Oh, we're going to do Aquaman 3. We're going to do Wonder Woman 3. They're fine. They're safe. But Henry, no, we don't want Henry, who's one of the best Supermen ever, up there with Christopher Reeve, in my humble opinion. Frank Riker, worst outfit to wear, RoboCop or Darkness with Tim Curry from Legend? Dude, I'm going to say RoboCop because of how much Peter Welker complained about that suit, apparently. Apparently, he was a right asshole to a lot of the crew whilst wearing that suit. Whereas Tim Curry, from my understanding and seeing like behind the scenes stuff of Patty, it's fucking freezing, Chris. Oh, dude, I'm sorry. Just keep warm. Yeah, like Tim Curry said, yeah, it's uncomfortable. Like, who the hell says this stuff is comfortable apart from Doug Jones, who loves that stuff? I think Tim Curry just used it because you're playing essentially the fucking devil. So yeah, like just use it. I think he had a pretty good he had a pretty good attitude about it. Whereas, yeah, I heard murmurs that Peter Weller, it's Peter Weller, yeah, fucking hated the suit. And he was just a cranky bastard on set. Mind you, that suit looked really uncomfortable. Like the way he moved in it was great, but I think he was just trying to move normally in it. And they're like, brilliant, you look like a robot, do it again. Whereas Tim Curry's one, those horns were like on like pipe threaded into the appliance, and they're lightweight and they look like they weigh 1,000 pounds. And you don't see Tim Curry at all in that makeup. And I think that performance is so underrated and not looked at enough. Granted, Legend itself isn't the best film, but he was the best part of that film. Yes, Peter Weller. Yeah, I don't know if you guys had heard the same, but I heard he was just a cranky bugger in that suit. And I get it. They're like these things, bat suits, they're not fun to wear. But it doesn't mean you have to treat people like shit. You signed up for this, knew what you were getting yourself into. Whereas, you know, you have good sports like Robert Englund, Doug Jones, Doug Bradley. They know what they signed up for and they love it. Once they get into it, that's you got Pinhead, you got Darkness, you got Freddy. You've Doug Jones, you've got the Gill Man. You've got Billy Butcherson. It's all about your attitude. But yeah, there's no reason to treat crew or your assistants or the costumers like shit, man. Treat people how you want to be treated. It's not that fucking hard. Gary sends in another £5. Gary, you're fucking on fire, dude. They never should have let Snyder split the fans, and when they did, they should have picked one side because trying to play both sides costs them both sides. Yeah, it's both sides. It's a double-edged sword, dude. I think if they just had have just committed and been like, hey, we know we're off to a rocky start with the Snyderverse, but just let us see it through and just wrapped everything up. I think it's just like for a lot of fans, it's closure or lack of. Because yeah, closure is a big thing, not just in life, but with film, like wrapping up a trilogy, wrapping up a character's arc and a character's journey. Like case in point, the Batman. A lot of people complained and had problems with the characterization of Bruce Wayne, very emo. And I'm like, you've got to understand, this is going to be a trilogy. By the third film, I'm pretty sure that's when we're going to see final form Bruce Wayne, like charismatic playboy. We've still got a Batman that's got the shits, even though he's always got the shits. But you know what I mean? He's just finding his way. This is year 2 of the Gotham project. He's not a people person. He has to learn to have that facade and that mask. And the mask is Bruce Wayne. He's always Batman. Batman is him. And that's what I'm hoping to see in that trilogy. You know, the second film, start to see it. And then the third one, I'm like, that's Bruce Wayne, Mr. Wayne. Not like when Alfred comes up to him and he's like, you know, we've got the people from Wayne Accounting coming. He's like, here, why? I don't have time for that. I'm like, speak louder. But I get what they're going for. They got to start with something and end on something else. Oh, Adam, my good friend. Dude, thank you so much. Happy birthday, brother. Please don't kill me for when you see your Instagram story. I got my phone face down at the moment. Well, Adam mentioned you in your story. I'll check it out after the stream, dude. Thank you so much. That's very sweet of you. You've been killing it lately with your drawings. You've been a very, very busy man. It's good to see, man. I hope you're well and hope you have a very, very happy Christmas and all that, my guy. But thank you, man. JK Ultra, have you ever watched Smallville? I watched a couple of episodes. Like Arrow, I enjoyed what I saw. I just never finished the rest. If so, have you ever heard about Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum making an animated Smallville TV show about what happens after season 10 of Smallville? No. So I watch and listen to Rosenbaum's podcast. I love it. I love it when him and Tom Welling get together and do Talk Smallville. I had no idea they were I may have seen it. They were thinking of doing an animated series. That's kind of a good idea, though. Kind of like fills in that gap for those fans of Smallville. I love their chemistry together, though. They're such cool blokes. And Rosenbaum, I love how open and raw and honest Rosenbaum is about his mental health struggles. It kind of grounds him as an actor. And you got to realize, like, a lot of actors can be very damaged, but through their work and their art, that's how they channel it, and it's a good distraction. But he's very open about it. I remember, I think it was the one with Doug Jones, his podcast with Doug Jones. And before they got Doug Jones on, he was like, yeah, I just started this new antidepressant. You got to go through a few. I'm like, dude, that's really like cool of you to be that open. It's not like, hey, I'm Michael Rosenbaum, nothing can bother me. I'm like, no, this man, has things going on, but he knows how to handle them, and it's healthy to talk about it. So it was very refreshing to see coming from an actor as well. I really dug that. But yeah, his podcasts are just so chill. I love the fact he has a Jason Voorhees hockey mask in the background, an Indiana Jones statue, and he's a big nerd and a damn good Lex Luthor. Mind you, I don't know if anyone else agrees, Billy Zane as Lex Luthor. Fucking missed opportunity and a half. Yeah. It's called Talkville. That's it. Thank you, Diner Guy. Yes, Talkville. Met Rosenbaum was a lovely guy. Yeah, man. From what I've heard, he's lovely. I've met Tom Welling at Gold Coast Supernova, and that wasn't at Supernova. It was outside before the event started. We were doing a cosplay parade, and I was Nomad Cap, and he just came out of the surf, and he just got a coffee, and he just walked up with his backpack, t-shirt and shorts and flip-flops on, his thongs. He's like, hey, what's going on? I turned around and was like, oh, because he's a big guy. Like, he's a pretty tall guy. And after Smallville, he just got jacked. So he's just like, well, what's going on? I was like, oh, it's you. Holy shit, Clark Kent. And I'm like, we're just doing a parade, Mr. Welling. Can I get a photo? And he's like, yeah, sure. So cool. Just got a photo with him out in the park before we did this parade. And he was just there with a coffee in the back, just watching the parade. And he was just lovely guy. Him and Rosenbaum, prime examples of the show's finished, but they're so appreciative of their fans, and they're very grateful for those roles. Tyler Adams, I feel like he did that a few times to Doug Jones. Like Rosenbaum? I love Rosenbaum, but sometimes it's like he doesn't listen or something because he asks shit that the guest just said. Yeah, fair enough. I got to sneeze. No, it's gone. Daniel, happy birthday. It's sad that we lost the DCEU. Now James going completely reboot DCEU. What your hope for it? And thank you for the birthday wish, man. I just hope whatever they do, we can go into the cinema or fire up the streaming service and be like, that was really good. I'm sad that things ended the way they did, but I'm glad we're here now. This is promising. Let's keep moving forward with this type of attitude. That's all I want, man. I just want to see my favorite DC characters up on screen and like get the goosebumps, get the feels, and have a cry. Like have a cry in the best way possible, to be like, that was sick. Bring on the next one. Not like, here we go again. We're back at square one. I don't want that. You always want nothing but the best for films, and you always want a film to succeed, but if it's like right with controversy and directors a fuckhead, whatever. But you always want a film to do good. It's like, it's been interesting seeing the whole not fiasco, but just the back and forth with Avatar, with people who want it to fail, the fans that are backing it up. I still haven't gotten around to seeing it yet. I'd at least like to go with a few friends, but I need to see it on the big screen. So yeah, it's, again, all I want to do is be entertained and just be happy with the new direction it's going in, man. So Gary, I cried when Steven opened up about his panic attack on Michael's channel because you think your heroes are invincible, but then you realize they are human. Absolutely, man. You found bitter respect when people are that brutal, open, and honest. It makes you feel good about yourself if you have insecurities. I have a lot of insecurities, and I don't mean to get deep, but obviously you guys watch me, and it helps when I'm transparent, like how I was the other day about the custom collectible series. I have generalized anxiety disorder bordering on panic disorder. 2020, I suffered a series of panic attacks that got so bad I couldn't even go to the shop. Learn to control it. But when you see an actor who's in the limelight all the time and has all this fame, success, to have them open up like that, it's not always black and white, if that makes sense. So, and I have nothing but respect for actors that can do that and not always have this facade, like this hardened facade. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's healthy to be vulnerable. It's healthy to let your guard down and let people in and talk it out. So 100%, man. I still have my days. I got really down the other day about the custom collectible series, and that's where I went back to the drawing board. I was really sad. But obviously I don't want to stop it altogether. YouTube channels are a tough slug, especially when you do something as niche as what I do. I don't talk about YouTube drama, rise and fall, all that crap where it brings in views. I want to talk about what I love, and this is what I love. And again, it's very niche, but I have such incredible people like you guys. And again, I'm not blowing smoke. I don't want to get mushy, but I love what I do. It is a tough slug. It's a tough slug because when you're your own boss, you don't have anyone telling you what to do. You got to figure stuff out and figure what you can do that's new. But I wouldn't have it any other way. I hate working for other people. I'm a smart ass by nature. I hate being told what to do unless it's telling myself what to do. So, and yeah, there are some days where your anxiety is a bit, and you're like, the thought of starting a new custom collectible, you're like, oh shit. But then once you start it, you're like, hell yeah, let's keep the momentum going. And it's the same every time. I'm like, why do I always have this mindset where it's this rinse and repeat with dreading it? But then once you start it, you're in the thick of it. Sorry to get very deep and philosophical, guys, but yeah, it's true. We all have our days, and it's okay to have your days. Let me cruise on down here. Patty, did you ever get around to watching Rawhead Rex? I did. Guys, do yourselves a favor. Go watch Rawhead Rex. It's fucking groundbreaking in the worst way possible. Patty, I don't know if you agree, but yeah, it's especially with how different the design of Rawhead Rex is to Clive's original drawings. That's an old movie, by the way, man. Holy shit. JDog117, happy birthday, Cosplay Chris. I've loved your custom collectibles and cosplay so much that I got into it myself. I did my first Netflix Punisher cosplay and embellishing Metal Gear toys. Thanks. Hell yeah, dude. Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And that's cool that you're doing that. And it can't go wrong with a good Punisher cosplay, man. I haven't seen a bad one. They're always just been amazing. And then when people do their own spins on them, it's really creative. Frank Riker, I think it's time to bring Marvel's 2099 comics to life. I think so too, man. Like, especially moving forward with all the different phases. And I think this phase is a little bit I wouldn't say stale, but it's like post Endgame, it hasn't been the same. And that's just my opinion. I think Endgame beforehand was just prime Marvel. I think maybe do something different. James Hennigan. Sorry, dude. Listening to his struggles with his parents resonated with me as I have parents' issues, and it's nice to know you aren't the only one. Yeah, 100%, dude. And I'm sorry that you do have those particular struggles. But yeah, I think hearing someone who you admire, like an actor, say that, you use that as a tool. And when you're having your down days, be like, hey, just keep in mind, this person has fame, money, and everything going for them, but also they have their dark times, and it's human. They're a human at the end of the day. We're human. We have feelings. We have emotions. It's always going to be better on the other side. It's just when you're in the thick of it, you've just equip yourself with those tools to ride it through, ride the wave, get to the shore. Worst analogy ever. I'm sorry. get to the shore and be like, cool. All right. What's next? That's the way I see it. Jonathan Lewis, I'm hung up on Gunn not being able to do justice to a virtuous character like Superman. I could be very wrong. What do you think? I think it's useless me saying it, man, but yeah, Henry was just a great Superman. Paired with some of Gunn's good writing elements, it could have been oh so good. It was like I honestly thought it was a piss take when I saw Henry's post, and he only put it up a couple of minutes ago when I'd read it, sorry. And I was like, it was the first thing on my feed. I was like, bullshit. No way. It's just like, we just got you back, dude. What? Whoever they cast, I hope it's for the good. I hope it's a smart casting choice, but yeah, Henry would have been good. Levi M, have you seen any Cobra Kai? Dude, I've seen all the Cobra Kai and I fucking am obsessed with it. I was late to the game. The first 2 seasons had already come out when I started watching it. So I played catch up with them. And actually, right as I finished season 2, season 3 came out. And I love it. Granted, it's got a bit far-fetched now. And I'm not going to say spoiler. It's been out long enough. With how Kreese escaped out of prison, I'm like, come on, man. The guy's old. But I'm still keen to see what happens in the next season. It was so cool that they got the bloke back who plays Terry Silver. I think it's a great show. Because originally, it was on YouTube Red, and they put it on, YouTube Red, and then they put it on Netflix. Played catch up with season 1 and 2, loved it. I think it's great. Such a cool show. It's fucking awesome. Who'd have thought that would have been so successful? When they first announced it, when it was the YouTube Red series, I'm like, this is gonna tank. Like, Karate Kid's done and dusted. But Ralph Macchio, William Zabka, they've all still got it, man. I love how much they pay respect to Mr. Miyagi, Pat Morita. It's awesome. I can't wait to see what they do next, even though it is getting a bit far-fetched. Evil Alex, what were your favorite cartoons as a kid, and what would make great live-action films? When I was little, Thomas the Tank Engine, I was the biggest train nerd. Then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, still is to this day. And then I remember going to Kmart to the Ninja Turtles section, and that's when we had the OG Ninja Turtle toys, the ones that I wish I had held on today and kept in the packets because they're worth so much now. And I remember turning around, and there was these things called Power Rangers, and Mum was there, and I'm like, what are these? Power Rangers. Then got hooked on them. So yeah, it was Thomas the Tank Engine, Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, and then like the Nickelodeon shows like Rugrats, all that stuff, Saved by the Bell. We had Saturday Disney every Saturday morning that had like Darkwing Duck, all that stuff. So like typical 90s stuff, man. You know what? I would like to see a live action Darkwing Duck. What are you guys? I reckon it would be, you'd have to make it so cooked though. Like so cooked. You couldn't play it straight even if you tried. Have a few edibles and watch that. Okay. Mr. Clown 10, Chris, I dare you to do a God of War cosplay. Dude, absolutely. You know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to hit up the Liver King for some advice and some supplements. And I'm going to get straight onto it, man. Oh, God. James, it does help, and it helps to me to have a better relationship with my daughter and not go down the same path for her. And that's why you're a fucking awesome dad, dude. I don't have to say anything else. That's the best mindset to have, 100%. What's your preference on Wolverine's ears sizes? John Byrne, big or smaller, astonishing X-Men original appearance? That's a tough question, dude. These are obviously like pretty big, but this is working with what I've got. Otherwise, this would just sit here. A friend of mine based in Canada, Evil Genius Pro, he does a Wolverine cowl that I'm going to get at some point. He's currently remolding it. Has the shorter ears, and it's a lot more hard edge, like armored. So that would be a good option to have with this. I do like both, but kind of like Batfleck, I like the shorter ears. Again, that's just personal preference. Bryant, oh snap. Chance to speak with you. Hi, Chris. Been a fan for a couple of years now. Glad to see you. Bryant, welcome, man. Welcome to the craziness that is Cosplay Chris Live. But yeah, thank you, man. Thank you for joining. Glad you could finally catch a live show. Brian, what con are you most looking forward to next year? Not really anyone in particular, man. Like Supernova and OzCon, like they're all good fun, man. Ronaldo, happy birthday, Chris. I wanted to ask how many inches in height and diameter are allowed pipe or tube that you use to make the Batmobile coming out of the smoke? I ordered few of the item. Oh man, so I've got it in my kitchen at the moment, just on the island bench there. So I was dusting it the other day. It was very dusty. Oh man, I think it was 16 mil diameter that slots into the 16 mil holder. If you go watch the video, you'll know what I'm talking about. The holder that I screw in. Pretty sure it's 16 millimeters, man. Yeah, 16 mil. Okay, so the Harv guy, speaking of suits turning to dust, how's the Robin suit? Living its best life in that display case? It's in Las Vegas now, man. I knew for the longest time that I wasn't going to have this suit forever because of that factor. Where I am in Australia, that suit would eventually break down. It was one of those things where I wanted to have it, take photos with it, video it, attempt to put it on and realize that was a bad idea, but instead put it on my mate Luke, who is a smaller frame and the same frame as O'Donnell. And I sold it to a prop museum in Las Vegas that is on display with Kilmer's sonar suit now. And I just wanted to do it before, and it shouldn't be about money, but when it comes to something like that, you got to be smart before it started to lose its value. If it did lose its value, right? As I know there, it's in a climate controlled room. It's not in harsh light. Whereas mine was in a cupboard, but the heat still gets to it. Whereas the Robin suit now is in a climate controlled room. So yeah, I'd done my thing with it. I felt it was time to move it on before something happened to it, just in case. But my God, man, it was a fucking beautiful suit. I do miss it, absolutely. But that money is going towards another big collectible, which is a house deposit, whenever the hell that will be. But yeah, man, just being smart about it and just to be like, hey, I did my thing with it. I owned it at one point. Yeah. All right, let me just cruise on down here. Gary, for me, I like cartoons and toys. So it was Biker Mice, Gargoyles, Dragonflies, Reboot, Beast Wars, Max Steel, Action Man. Beast Wars, dude, I remember those toys at Toys R Us. Those things were so hot at the time. Yeah, Beast Wars, Reboot. My God, Reboot. That's going into the deep recesses of my brain hard drive. That's incredible. Mary, I've been having fun watching your show on your channel. Thank you so much, Mary. I appreciate that. Brian, a cosplay for a house, worth it. Oh, dude, a deposit for a house here is disgusting. It's scary. That's why a lot of people my age still live with their parents. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just being smart. Like a deposit on a house, on average, will run you about $100,000 for a deposit. So, like Chloe and I are renting at the moment. It'd be hard for me to get a loan because of what I do. You know, freelance artists, stuff like that, self-employed. Banks would look at you and be like, I don't think we can rely on you for loan repayments. And I get that, but it sucks. Can't forget Street Sharks. Dude, I had the Street Shark with the rollerblades. I was obsessed with action figures with rollerblades for some reason when I was a kid. Don't know. Would you ever do a Thundercats cosplay? Probably not, man. I didn't watch Thundercats. But I've seen some really crack ones. Someone, oh God, with the fucking AI. Someone did an AI of a live action Thundercats film the other day, and it actually looked really good. Whoop, hang on. Whoop. Renders Effects. Happy birthday, brother. Thank you for the hard work, the brilliant ideas, and the unending inspiration. Thank you so much, man. I really do appreciate that. That's very sweet of you. Joni? Joni, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Hi, Chris. Talking about Power Rangers, I can't even tell how sad I still am about the passing of JDF, especially just the way he left. Do you remember where you were when you heard about the news? Ow! Just banged my hand. So I got a friendly heads up from someone in the industry before it was announced, and I put my post up. I was gutted. I just heard he passed, and then this person was like, they took their own life, and I just couldn't believe it. I put my post up, and everyone was commenting like, fake news, take it down. And I'm like, no, it's 3 a.m. in LA. Just give it time. And then, I woke up the next morning, and then that's when it was public. And like I said at the beginning of the stream, I still can't believe it. It's, like I said, as cliche as it is, right in the childhood feels with him and Kevin Conroy. But considering how JDF went out, it's awful. It's awful for his daughter. I can only imagine. I don't want to what she is going through. It's fucking awful, man. But as long as you just remember the good times, I remember always wanting to be Tommy. He was so cool with that ponytail, and the White Ranger, the Green Ranger, were just badass. And then when they filmed the first Power Rangers film here in Sydney, and they filmed a lot down the coast for all the Rocky Shore stuff. That was filmed down the coast. But for the most part, they filmed here in the CBD. They used this empty construction site where Bulk and Skull come down on the parachute and they find Ivan Ooze. And when they filmed the end sequence with the fireworks at the end, that was in Darling Harbour, which I go there a lot. And I remember the restaurant they were filming at. That restaurant is still there, where the Power Rangers are all there having drinks and they're watching the fireworks to say, thank you, Power Rangers. And my mate, two of my friends, their mum worked for B&G Records at the time that kind of looked after all the Power Rangers and all that stuff, and just got, the access and all that stuff. And they got to visit them on the set. And there's a photo of Kurt and Max, my friends with JDF there. And he's just a baby with the long hair. And it was really, really cool, man. So that was like a big deal for us to have a Power Rangers movie filmed here. It was a big, big deal. And the fact that he kept the legacy of Tommy going, of being a Power Ranger going, and right up until his passing, doing that film with Bat in the Sun, I think that was really sweet. Just embracing the character. And some actors are like, oh, I don't want to be known for that forever. I'm like, well, you may be known for it forever. You don't have to always go back to it. But if you embrace it, I think that's when you cop a different attitude and a good attitude about it. And JDF did. And he was forever grateful with his fans. He was so good with his fans, especially, little kids. He was just so good. But again, it's one of those things where you just don't know what someone's going through. It is awful to think about. And I try not to think about that aspect, but just think about the good that he did for the world of Power Rangers, the fandom, pop culture. So he's a fucking legend, and he will continue to be a legend forever. Him and Kevin Conroy. Sorry to go off on a tangent there, but I hope I answered your question. Night of Vigil. Would you ever do a Flash cosplay? I'm not sure. Maybe if I did my own. Just be covered in shoe polish and dirt. Oh, guys, the sex bots have entered the chat. Girls 69, beautiful girls here. Woo! Party's getting started. Happy birthday to me. And we have 69 people in the chat. Yes. Chris, now that you got the new Wolverine suit, will you do a new workout routine for the Wolverine like your old Wolverine workout video? It would be cool to see you do, lol. Also, happy birthday, lad. Thank you, Mr. Clown 10. I'm up because I'm doing the video on building this guy. I think also I'll just touch on what I'm doing training wise. But in terms of training at the moment, man, it's just old school. I've actually gone back to the bro split. The bro splits always work for me. Just training heavy, but smart as well. Good form, and just eating a lot. So a lot of steak, rice at the moment, sushi, but obviously trying not to get too fat to fit into that. Let me just cruise on down here. Oh, Tyler Adams sends in $20. Thank you so much, man. Happy birthday, Chris. I'm a visual effects artist from VLDL Freelance. Been doing it for 12 plus years. If you find yourself doing more acting projects, I'd love to contribute my skills. Keep making cool stuff. Love the TMNT video. Thank you so much, Tyler. That is awesome, man, that you're in that industry. That's fucking great, man. Living the dream. That's so cool. Yeah, I definitely want to get into acting 2023, acting more. So I've been doing auditioning a lot for commercials. If you guys are in Australia, you know those KFC commercials. Did someone say KFC? I've done a lot of auditioning for them. And the actor's game is, you can't get disgruntled. Most times out of 10, you won't get the audition. I'm sick of seeing those commercials on TV at the moment, the ones that I went for and the part that I auditioned for. And I'm like, God damn it. And it helps that my headshots aren't up to date. Some of them are when I had long hair. So Dan, Sarah, and I from Lux Media, they're going to do my headshots in a couple of weeks' time. Just shazz you up and freshen up my actor's profile. But I want to audition more for bigger parts. I'm sick of these little bit parts that people get me for. Like I've got my beginners, intermediate, and advanced acting certificates from Screenwise here in Sydney, which is a very world-renowned acting school. So I fucking love acting, man. Like I just want to do it more. Like I said in the custom collectible video, I want to do stuff, in front and behind the camera. I love prop building. I love costuming, but I love acting. I just want to do it all. So 2023, new year, new me. No, but seriously, like I do want to act more, man. But that's very sweet of you, man. If we do collaborate someday, that would be awesome. But yeah, all the best, dude. But I hope you're having a good break as well over the silly season. Not sure if you guys are breaking for the year. But that is awesome, man. Thank you very, very much. A small reminder to everyone here, you are important. You do matter. Don't be afraid to say what bother you. That's very true, man. Yep. Absolutely. Der Schweizer, keep going. Great work on the YouTube, man. You're doing this super awesome. Thank you so much, man. There are some days where I don't think that, but thank you. Chris, what was your reaction when some Hollywood company called you to work for them for the first time? Are you talking about ADI or when I worked on Outlaw Johnny Black? If so, just ecstatic. Yeah, just like pinch myself moment. Yeah, it was crazy. Absolutely crazy. JDog117, really appreciate your TMNT video too. That movie came out the year that I was born. It was one of the first movies I ever saw. I still think it holds up. 100%, man. That's why I wanted to make a video about it. It's just a perfect movie. Even if, there was some bits here and there where it wasn't the greatest, it still holds up to this day from like a writing standpoint, a filmmaking standpoint, because it was like bordering on guerrilla filmmaking. Those suits are just, can you imagine like how far we've come now doing those suits now, but those things still hold up. Don't get me started, man. Evil Alex, what would be your dream role hero character? You'd do a good Casey Jones, actually. Dude, if I got cast as Casey Jones, I would be ecstatic. I would be just listening to comments and suggestions. This is how you got to do it. I would read every comic back to front that features Casey and just try to do absolute justice to the character, train my absolute ass off, and just hope to God that I did a good job. Fuck yeah, man. I would love to do Casey Jones in a heartbeat. Absolutely. Tyler Adams, the Batman sequence is really cool. Are you referring to the Batman, like the short we did? If so, thank you. Cruise on down here. Oh, another $5 from Adam, you beautiful soul. When you build a cigar prop for Wolverine and do a video on, would you include lighting effects with that prop? No, I'm going to the tobacconist and getting an actual cigar, man. I don't smoke, but it's a cigar. You just and like have it in the corner of your mouth and like chew on it. Did you watch the Sydney Super Cup? I did not, Patty. I am, that's not me, but it's still like a big deal as well. 240 Mamba 024. Can we get a meet and greet with you, the man, the myth, the legend? Depends where, man. Like at a con, hell yeah. If you see me in the street, I'll give you a crisp high five. And if you're a hugger, I'll give you a damn big hug as well. And just to thank you. How long are we going here? Oh, an hour 50. We'll go for 10 more minutes, guys, and then I'll wrap it up. So I got to do last minute Christmas shopping, which is great. Jonathan Lewis sends in $5. Thoughts on using CGI to get in shape like Wolverine in Deadpool? Could it become a trend for actors that don't want to work out? I don't think it should become a trend, man. I think if it's enhancing, then yeah, absolutely. But, you know, it still helps to have the actor physically looking like that. Whether they've had like help, I don't know. And with all this stuff coming at the moment with the Liver King and everyone putting shit on The Rock, being like, just be honest. And I think that's my biggest thing. That's my biggest gripe. When they lie and they give you a false perception that you can achieve this with diet and exercise. I'm like, no, you can't. You need the Trenbolone sandwiches. You're not telling people that. If you're open and honest about it, no one's going to give a shit. If you're like, look, this is what I did, X, Y, and Z. You'll only get so far naturally, and then you need help. Everyone's going to be like, well, at least you're honest. It's when you try and sell a product, a supplement, or preach that it's all natural. That's where I have a problem with it. If the CGI is enhancing and complementing it and it's subtle, yeah, sure, man. But it does help when your actor is in shape and it helps them sell it physically, practically, when you're lighting it practically, the body practically, especially in the suit as well. Even if there is padding, it still helps when they're in shape. It helps with your stamina as well, being in those suits for 13, 14-hour days. Yeah. Hayden, happy birthday, you legendary human being. Thank you so much, Hayden. Hope all is well. JDog117, hope you don't take offense to this, but I can see you making a good booster goal. I'll take it. No offense taken at all. Hey, Chris, TMNT Configuration is here. How are you, my friend? Miss you. Hey, hello, man. Guys, if you're on Instagram, TMNT Configuration does great TMNT content. Miss you too, man. Been seeing you around doing stuffs and all that. But yeah, good to see you here. Thank you. Astronaut Lemire. Hola, amigo. Feliz cumpleaños. I'm no good at Spanish. I'm sorry. All I know is burro and cerveza. Bryant, not sure if not sure, Asper, do you have any plans for visiting American cons or have you been invited to one? Yeah, man, I've done Geek Con in Louisiana and I've been to San Diego Comic-Con as a guest, and I would definitely love to go back. San Diego Comic-Con's intense. Like, the crowd's intense. I don't cope well with crowds sometimes, and it's full on. But yeah, man, absolutely. I'd love to do Dragon Con, Fan Expo. There's more, but those are the ones that are on top of my head. Gary sends in £5. Thank you, Gary. I was so fed up with my size and was tempted to do the Wolverine water diet. Don't, dude. There are better and safer ways to do it, and I've explained that in a video. I was in a massive caloric defect, especially for a guy of my height. You don't feel good. It's crash dieting. It's bordering, well, is starvation. There are healthier and more natural ways to do it. It may just take a little bit longer, but you're not going to feel like shit, dude. If you're a professional bodybuilder on stage, do it. Go for it. If not, it's not worth it, dude. It's not healthy. Sure, you look great, but you feel like absolute shit. Like, people who have a six-pack absolutely ripped all year round tell you they're great. Bullshit. That, like, have a burger, have a beer, man. Life's too short. Like, if you have a ripped six-pack, the body's probably constantly like, she won't hold. Like, it can't be like that for long periods of time. It doesn't like it. Unless you just genetically blessed and you just have that all year round. You feel great. Fine. Andrew Freeman sends in another $5. Thank you, man. You are an inspiration, man. Honestly, you are the reason I started cosplay. Can't wait to see what's next, brother. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you so much, man. You're looking at what's next. 2 Superman projects. But yeah, this guy is the first cab off the rank for 2023. Hoping in 2 or 3 weeks it'll be done. Like everything's pretty much here. You kind of have to allow for shit to go wrong as well and be like, this doesn't work. I've got to go buy something else or source something else. And yeah, just training like a madman. Because when your arms are on display, you're like, I got to make sure the pins look good. So, and like when Dan, Sarah, and I shoot, I'll be there beforehand getting a pump, baby oil. I'll make the flick pick proud. But yeah, you got to sell it, man. You got to go all out. And I said to Dan yesterday when we do the shoot, because he's watching Logan as inspiration, we want to go for the tone of Logan, just that berserker shot of him going through the forest, just wasting the mercenaries. I'm like, that's what I want, that berserker rage. So I'm looking forward to that. It should be fun. Jonathan, also the dehydrating is so unhealthy. It is, man. That's why you can only do it for so long if you're going on stage. All this talk about water dehydrating is getting me thirsty. So the body can only sustain it for so long, man. It's so ironic. Bodybuilders, when they're on stage, look at their strongest, but they're at absolute weakest. There's a story. Oh, God, I forget who the famous bodybuilder was. He was on stage and his muscles were so dehydrated, he cramped up and he had to be carried off stage in the flexing position. Crazy. It shouldn't get to that. Pardon me. Charlie, imagine if Willem Dafoe played the Joker in the Keaton Batman film. Pardon me. Jesus, that would. I love how Willem Dafoe's aware of it. He's like, people said I'd make a good Joker. I'd love to play the Joker. I'm like, Warner Brothers, listen, this man is offering his services. And those fan art mock-ups of him in the makeup with that smile, he'd make a mean Joker. Mark Patrol, how tall are you in centimeters? I'm 175 centimeters, man. Keaton's height, Hardy's height. That gives me hope. Joni, do you keep all the suits you make or sell/disassemble them? Bit of both and keep some. So there are some that I have sold to fund the next project because a lot of them take up heaps of space. So yeah, there have been Bat suits, Superman suits, Hellboy, Witcher. People now have them in their collection, and the money for that goes in the kitty, the savings fund for new cosplays, new props, new videos, like stuff to go towards videos. So it's just smart sometimes to do that. In the case of the Wolverine cowl, this was used for the Midnight Suns cosplay with 2K games, and I'm repurposing this for this Wolverine cosplay. So stuff that pre-exists that I've made, I sometimes repurpose. Some stuff I sell to fund the next cosplay, and stuff I keep. Like I've kept Pirate Batman because that's my baby. If I do sell that, like the right price would have to come along and I'd have to want to sell it, but I don't. Happy birthday. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. David Perez, Chris, have you seen the fan-made Superman Lives animated trailer that just came out? No, man, I haven't. I have to check that out. Like Nick Cage, Superman Lives. Oh, I'm Superman. Okay, I'm Superman. I would definitely love to see that. And that was my awful Nick Cage impression. You know, you come from Krypton. It's great. Sorry. All of a sudden, the chat goes to -5. I'm going to go for a couple more minutes, guys, and then yes, Nick Cage. All right, I have to check that out. Morning from Japan. Holy shit. Konnichiwa. Morning from Japan. That's awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope all is well over there in beautiful Japan. Tyler Adams. Making my own 1990 set Raphael short film using CG, but I'm focused on capturing the look of that dark, lit, gritty film. I love the suit so much, and if I had the budget, I'd definitely go that route. Dude, that's incredible. Like, kudos to you for doing that, especially in CG too. I would love to see that once it's done. I think that would be very cool. I think this is why they have to have another crack at try and recapture the 1990s film. Everyone still loves it. It's timeless. Wi-Fi turn on my notifications. It's now the 22nd here in Ireland. There you go, man. Yeah, 22nd here. It is 11:03 a.m. $5 from Thurana Ravindra. Thank you. I saw a super cool fan poster of a TMNT/Batman crossover using Keaton and the 1990s TMNT. Would love to see that. Happy birthday also. Thank you so much. I think I know the one you're talking about. I think it's when Keaton's in the middle and the turtles are around him. That's badass. No more impressions, Chris. Duly noted, Patty. Duly noted. Christopher Walken as Batman would be awesome. I'm gonna have to do the impression. I'm sorry, Patty. Whoop, decline. Sorry, my mate just tried to call me. The Dark Knight. I don't consider myself the Dark Knight. All right, I'm gonna stop. Stop. Sorry. Happy birthday, Chris. Been following for a while. Thank you so much, man. Jonathan Lewis. That was a great Nick Cage. At least someone thinks it is. Are you looking forward to what James Gunn will do for the new DCEU? I just hope whatever happens, man, it's fun. And we just go into whatever comes next with each film and be like, that was really great. I want to see more. That's all I want. I don't want people being like, that was shit. Just start over again. Just start, keep going. All right, guys. I think I'm going to call it a day. I think that's it. This has been such a fucking fun stream. It was very last minute, but I just wanted to jump on, especially because we're entering the silly season and the holidays and all that. I just wanted to chime in with you guys, have a chat and stuff like that. And yeah, just talk about the fiasco that is the DCEU, but obviously all things in between and, just, talk it out with you guys. But thank you so much for tuning in, guys. And yeah, so look, guys, if you do celebrate Christmas, have a very, very Merry Christmas. If you don't, happy holidays, whatever you decide to do. I hope it's a good one, a safe one. Obviously, be merry, be silly, all that good stuff. Thank you so much for an incredible year, Geeks and Geekettes. And thank you just for being so supportive, sweet, and just brilliant. So 2023, obviously hitting the ground running with this guy, the new format of custom collectibles with the Express episodes, and then the biggest stuff when it's going to be something different. You guys are just incredible. Just thank you from the bottom of my heart, not to get cheesy and sappy. You're all fucking wonderful and brilliant. And yeah, I couldn't do this thing without you. This may all be 9 years. Holy shit. But thank you for tuning in today, guys. Thank you to everyone for the super chats in general, and just having a good old chin wag. I think that's just what it's all about, and just connecting with you guys and just having a nag. I'm going to go do my last minute Christmas shopping now. And then later this afternoon, I'm going to go have a drink with my mum and dad at the local golf club. But yeah, you guys look after yourselves. You're all fucking beautiful. Love you all to the moon and back. I'll chat with you soon, guys. Have a good one.